dad was a good man. He was raised in a abusive home. His mother was the second wife of Joseph Smith, and this isn't the Joseph Smith that you think. But his name was Joseph Smith, and he was hard. He would drink, he smoked, and was very abusive to Grandma Eva. When my dad was 18, he beat up his dad pretty good, and he was kicked out of the house, and he joined the Navy. You need to know, when he was growing up, he lived in a 2-room cabin, and they had an outhouse, and his underwear was, Grandma Eva was a good sewer, and his underwear was made out of old flour sacks. Now, when you think about that, you guys see flour in paper bags, but they were itchy. I remember those flour sacks. And so my dad was raised under some hard circumstances. And he was a character. I need to get his life story together, because he talked about some fun things that guy could dream up. Anyway, I would consider him quite wild. And my mother somehow fell in love with this wild cowboy from paradise. And they married. My dad was a crusty marshmallow. He looked tough, but he was so tender. He always stuck up for the underdog. He would pick up people at the side of the road, take them for a Coke, and he always had Charleston chews tucked in his pocket that he would give to kids, and he would even give his grandkids, my children, Charleston chews when he would come. His favorite thing to do was to eat at Dewey's Cafe, and he would have mincemeat pie and a Coke. He loved food. He loved food. He was a character. When he would laugh, he would snort. He would pull pranks on people on a daily basis. I personally found him to be my very most favorite person in the whole world. And when people say, you look like your dad, who wants to look girly if you can look like your dad? So I love looking like my dad. He was never wealthy. He was raised poor. We never had a lot of money. He was a hard worker. He was a cusser. I remember when he was a bishop that he was doing some sustaining and some releasing, and he got a little confused, and he said, "Oh, hell," at the podium. And my mom was up in the choir seats, and she turned shades of blue and purple and red, because he didn't even realize that he had sworn. But that's why people loved him so much, is because he was so real. So, you want me to tell you about my dad? I can't wait to meet him in heaven. He's my favorite person.